All right, good to have you join us the second day of February 2021. It's good to be back here again for Youth Assembly. But today, on a lighter note, we are looking at how to deal with social media trolls. We see a lot of trolling happening on social media, especially as it pertains young people. And yes, we're here to deal with it. I'm not alone today. I am with Nurat Layadi, who is an educator. Welcome, Nurat.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I also have with me Precious Onoha. Precious Onoha is a creative writer and also a content developer. Welcome, Precious. Okay, so how do we deal with social media trolls? Now, we'll get to find out shortly. But in the age of social media, a group of internet users known as trolls are making the engagement of social media space toxic for other users. Now, trolls take pleasure in posting inflammatory and offensive comments on social media posts just to get people angry and increase their social media engagement. And now, without even caring about how the activities affect the mental health of others. Now, how can online users of social media handle trolls? That is one question we intend to answer today. As I have introduced my guest earlier, Noras Liadi, an educator, and Precious Onoha, who is a creative writer and content developer. So I start with you, Noras. You're an educator. Have you been trolled before?
To be very honest, I've been quite fortunate. No, nothing terrible. Maybe just a nasty comment, but nothing horrible. And I'm thankful for that.
Okay, how about you, Precious? Have you been trolled before?
Actually, I have not been trolled before, but I have seen people have that experience before. And trust me, it's not a good place to be.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, Nurat is so lucky she hasn't been trolled, and hopefully she doesn't get trolled. But we see it happening, even if it is not our comment. We see it happening on people's posts when people drag these
Yeah.
people. And for people on Twitter, they call it the Twitter street, drag you on the Twitter streets. And it's as if it has become a thing of fun for a lot of Twitter users or other social media platforms. But trolls are all over the internet. They can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like I
Instagram.
mentioned. Now, how big of a problem are social media trolls? Nurat?
I think it's very unfortunate that people now troll for a living, because the fact that what you're doing is to upset other human beings, that's a cause for concern. It shows that people are losing their priorities. It shows that there's so many idle people. It shows that people aren't even happy with their lives, because if you're living a good life, why would you want to irritate somebody else? So it's a cause for concern, but the reality is it is what it is. There are going to always be people like that, and you're not going to keep yourself in a hole because of people like that. So for me, the rule of thumb is don't feed the trolls. These are people that are dealing with their issues. Maybe they're suffering some mental problems, and that's just the only window they have to let things out. So don't feed the troll. Don't engage them. Don't give them reasons to go on. And most of these people are faceless anyway. They don't have they don't have big accounts. Some of them, their accounts are even private. So you can tell they can't even face you. They're keyboard warriors. And like you said about dragging people for fun on Twitter, for example, again, it's sad. People don't care about the feelings of other people as well. Some people are chasing clout. Some people want to grow their accounts. So it's a whole lot. It goes back to humanity. What do you hold high? What are your values? If you're someone that has something that you're standing up for, that you hold in high esteem, dragging people in the mud shouldn't be something you're doing for a living or for pleasure.
Mm. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. You've made a valid point there. But if people are doing this for fun or for how maybe is a reflection of how they feel or how they see themselves, bringing it out on social media like that. But is that enough for them to do that? Like, why do some of these people become so obsessed with getting engagement on social media just by trolling to the extent of dragging, posting inflammatory or offensive comments for attention? Yes, getting attention is even it. But for you, Precious, how do you react to that?
Well, I see social media trolls as people who want to be amplified. They just want to get heard. And they do it at all costs. They don't mind if they are hurting others, right? As Nurat said, they are faceless. Most of them don't even have credible accounts on social media. Some of them don't even have a face attached to these accounts. The accounts that they could always pull down at any time. And they derive pleasure in seeing people hurt. It takes someone who is hurt to want to see another person hurt,
Mm,
right? So it's possible that they are dealing with some psychological trauma, and they want to also get people to be in that same address as they are. It's also possible that they are suffering from low esteem, and they also want to see people, they make these comments, they drag people on different topics or topical issues, and they want to see people's reaction by their comments.
okay.
So if you are not a stable person, right, you could be affected by those comments. You could start suffering self-esteem. You could start withdrawing from social media. You could stop representing your brand or whatever it is that you are active on social media for. It could also lead to sleep disruption. It gets to a stage where you start thinking of a particular comment on a post that you made, and it disorganizes you as a human being, right? It could also lead to depression, and it could also lead to suicide.
But we've
We
also
had
seen
cases
where
where
these individuals, some individuals or brands on social media could find it difficult to even determine if a person commenting on their post is a troll or actually have some genuine grievances. Now, how can one determine if they are dealing with a troll or not, so that they don't shut down the genuine people out? Nurat.
That's very valid. Some people have genuine, legitimate reasons to complain. Usually from the tone, you can tell. From the tone, if you've got a genuine problem, you state the problem. You don't attack the personality. So let's say I
Mm-hmm.
bought shoes from you, Sylvia. I don't say, you know what, you're such a stupid person, you're so horrible. I'm going to tell you I got shoes from your shop. I didn't like it. How can we fix it? You face the issue. You don't focus on the personality. No personality attack. Because you don't like the shoes I sold to you doesn't mean you tell me my face looks like that of a monkey. You don't mix issues up. So you can tell when someone is genuine when they are facing the issue at hand. You don't attack the personality. My looks,
Mm.
my belief, my body has nothing to do with the shoes that I sold to you that you don't like. So you focus on the problem, not on the person.
Mm-hmm.
That way, you should be able to sift genuine complaints from people who are just trolling, from people who are just being obnoxious.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Another thing is sometimes these trolls just, yes, they are offensive. We've mentioned that. But how do you even know that this person is actually, is his points are valid? And even if the offense comes as, or the comment comes as offensive and hurtful, but there is some elements of truth in it. I don't know if there are instances where that could pass, or a troll is just a troll. Offensive comments are just offensive comments. Precious, what do you think?
For me personally, I think a troll is just a troll. If you want to make genuine complaints about a service, or about a product, or about a system, you go straight ahead and attack it, right? You make your genuine comments. And People will see the truth in what you're saying. But if you're all out to attack a person, an individual, not what the person, I always tell people, I can't say I hate you, right? I can only hate your behavior. I can only hate your behavior, not you as a person. So if you're a troll, you're a troll. If you want to attack a human being, and not because of what the person said or did, then that is what it is.
Okay, but sometimes some people might not even know
Absolutely.
that they are trolling. Hmm? What would you say is actually the characteristics of a troll or a comment that is coming from a troll? How to identify it? How do you identify it and deal with it? Still precious.
Okay, some of them are off-topic remarks, right? They completely go off topic from the subject at hand. So, for instance, you're talking about a particular subject at hand, and there are just very funny comments that could come as, am I still on?
Hello, precious.
Okay, there are this
Nurat, can you hear her?
comments that keep coming as off.
Yes, I
Okay, but I can't. Okay.
can hear her.
I think I'm on again. Okay. So there are
Mm.
topics that keep coming as off topic, right? It's not about the particular subject that is being addressed or that is being discussed. And the person is talking about another thing entirely. Now that this is one of the ways you can identify that this person is a troll. Another is if the person refuses to acknowledge evidence. So even when you present hard cold facts on a particular subject, they ignore it. They pretend as if they did not see that evidence that you have put up. So this is another way of identifying trolls on social media.
Okay. So, Nurat, thank you, Precious. Before we go on, this is Click Naija, and Youth Assembly is the show. We are looking at how to deal with social media trolls. How do we deal with that? How do you think trolls can even be checked on social media? We would like to get your feedback and comments on this subject matter, and then we'll take it from there. Even right here on Facebook, we don't want trolling, even on this page. So we're doing this for the well-being of everyone who uses social media. Okay, Nurat, how do you think trolls can be checked on social media?
I would argue it's hard to check them, especially if you've got a public account. Social media is like the marketplace right now. How do you check people from getting into the market? It's open. It's really open. Personally, what I think about is I know some very respectable people, some people I really admire, and I have seen them being trolled big time. People that I hold in high esteem, and I've seen people troll them horribly. So I have that mindset that if these people can be trolled, then I can be trolled as well. And I should never take it too personally. No one's perfect. We all make mistakes. I'm never going to be perfect. There are times I'll say things that are wrong. There are times I'll post things that maybe aren't appropriate. So, as a human, knowing that you're fallible, knowing that you can make mistakes helps you. So, if someone makes a genuine comment that is trying to shed light on something that you've done, you should be able to take it. But if you're just one of those people, then just have to accept it because even people better than you have been trolled. People better than you, people richer than you, people more knowledgeable than you, people who are more exposed than you, people who have bigger achievements than you are being trolled. So we just have to deal with it. We've got what we've got. Social media is a marketplace. You don't control how people get into the market. Worst case scenario, if there's a constant person, you can ban them on your page, ban them on your what you call it, wherever on your account, if that's possible. But guess what? Some trolls have multiple accounts. It's that crazy. So just keep banning them as much as you can.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, but we also see from the trolling in the comment section, we also see the good messages, and people tend to be drawn to the negative ones. The negative ones get the attention first before even the good ones. So, how do you even divorce yourself from um, focusing on the trolls and staying focused on the good ones and the positive ones? How do you do that?
Yeah, sadly, that's the human nature. Sylvia, if you're wearing a white shirt and there's a dot on it, the first thing my eyes will catch is that dot on your white shirt. We're not going to see the squeaky clean white shirt. It's just how human beings are wired. As human beings, somehow our brains focus on negativity. It's hard. I'm not going to claim that it's easy to not focus on negativity. It's how we are, but we need to always remind ourselves not to focus on negativity. There will always be these people till we die. Like, there will always be negative people. Sometimes they're on social media, sometimes there are colleagues, sometimes there are family members, sometimes there are neighbors. It's life. That's how it is. There'll always be people who are so negative. So every day, it's a daily thing. You have to assert yourself. You have to remind yourself that you're doing good. And even when you mess up, it's okay to mess up. We all mess up. These trolls are not perfect as well. These trolls who are always saying something bad in everything, they have their flaws. No human is perfect, so it's okay. But some people are just super negative, and like Precious rightly said, if people are having a bad life or having a bad time, they want to drag you down with them. Have you ever seen Dangote trolling someone on the internet before? Well, some of us are trolling. He's making billions. Rich people don't have time for all of that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's get busy. Let's stop being idle. Let's get productive. Let's channel our energy towards something more positive. Don't see rich people trolling. They don't have time. It's idle people, jobless people, most times that do all these things.
Okay, but celebrities and people who have social influence like that, they're not new to trolls. They get this a lot every day. Okay, Precious left, but we hopefully will get her back. This question is actually for Precious, but she's a creative writer and a content developer, and I would like to know how you've been able to deal. Yes, when these trolls come, how you're able to separate the criticisms which actually help your work from the trolling which tend to hurt and offend. Precious?
Please, can you come again with a question?
Can she hear me?
Can you repeat your question, please? Can you repeat your question?
Precious, can you hear me now?
She needs to hear it again.
Okay, as a creative writer and a content developer, you must be seeing a lot of trolls as regards to what celebrities, for instance. Yes. So some of the celebrities, some of these content developers, their work often open to criticism. So how do you separate criticism from comments that intend to hurt and offend?
Okay, I know when it's a right criticism on a particular post. So I actually make I give opportunity for people to give comments on a particular post or a subject that is being discussed, right? So people could always give advantages or disadvantages of a system or of a subject depending on what is being discussed. So that is criticism. And you as a writer could take that to make sure that your work gets better the next time that you're doing a post. But for a troll, what I do or how I deal with them is simply to ignore them. Because by the time you keep responding to them. It's as if you're fueling them to bring up more talks, to discuss more, right? So just don't fuel them, ignore them. Better still, if you must give attention to them, if you must talk to them, you could respond with facts. That is another way of dealing with them. And I would I would personally say that it's not right for you to delete their posts. Why? Because if it escalates, people will identify them as trolls. People will get to know that, okay, this particular account, of course, before they take it down, this particular person is a troll, right? And they'll be mindful of them. They wouldn't, like, they would be watchful to see that, okay, this person is up onto the next page to make a comment or to troll there again.
Okay.
As Nurat said, you can also block them if you want. But I would also suggest for the social media community, right? If you want to get professional on social media, there could be policies, community policies, that we could come up with.
Okay, but yes, you mentioned facts. You know, when you have your facts and you know your audience, you'll be able to defend them, defend yourself, and defend your work, or whatever you put out there. And facts actually tend to shut them up when they see that they're actually looking stupid for what they have actually done. But how best, Laura? Okay, this question is for you now. How do you think social media trolls can be dealt with? Should they be banned from social media or from blocking? What else should be done to those people who are just out there to offend and actually affect people's mental health?
Okay. Actually, I think we should empathize with them because they clearly have issues, and at the end of the day, they're humans, right? And we should care for every human being. So if you have time, if you've got the generosity time, you can actually counsel them. You can advise them to do something better with their lives because they're part of our community. Maybe they don't even know what they're doing. And some people sometimes don't even know how offensive their comments are. I've seen people apologize on a post that I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry, misunderstood it. So it really depends. You're going to judge on a case by case basis. If some people, well, if it's someone that has a valid account, you might want to go a bit further to empathize with them. Some people are really struggling. But if it's a faceless person, then you probably know there's no point for that because they're faceless in the first place. If they were confident of what they were saying, if they had good intentions, they shouldn't have used a faceless account, so to speak. So let's deal with them with empathy. Let's counsel them if we can, and if we can't, it's okay to block them, I would argue. Because at the end of the day, everyone has their mental health to protect. I'm a family woman. I've got my family to deal with. I've got work to deal with. I've got business to deal with. I don't have all the energy in the world to deal with people on social media. So if I block anyone, I'm preserving my sanity, and that's wisdom for me. That's wisdom. I deserve to feel sane. I deserve to protect my mental space. I deserve to keep my boundaries. Healthy boundaries are extremely important. They're very important. I personally don't waste time. If I tell my friends, I block a lot, I mute a lot. I'm sorry, I can't shout. I can't shout. I block and mute a lot. Like, I can't. I'm protecting my mental health. Mental health is very important.
Handling trolls by starving them of the attention they crave, by ignoring them. Do you subscribe to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't feed the trolls. That's the rule of thumb. Don't feed them. Don't engage them. Don't give them attention. And like Precious said at the beginning, they want to be amplified. That's the point. They're craving attention. That's what most of it comes from. And some people want to build their account. This is 2021. People are making money off large social media accounts. It's a business. And we know that controversy sells the most, bad news sells the most. Bad news, like if you want so much engagement on your post, just give out some bad news or fake news. People are going to come. That's how it is. but we're people of value, we're people of ethics, we're people of moral up. But sadly, some people don't see things that way, so they don't care. They're going to do anything for the sake of clout, you know. So don't feed them, don't feed the troll. Ignore them as much as possible, and you deserve it. We all have several, commitments. Don't let people live rent free in your head. You've got your family, you have your work, you have your business. Don't let someone who you don't know, who you may never meet in your entire life, live rent free in your head. It's not worth it.
The times we're in, almost everyone, so many people on social media want to be savage, like they want to break a table. You know the way, what's the slang again? Well, who is on this table? Let's break it. And then they drag. So they want to be savage to increase their engagement or to just have fun. They see it as a type of fun for social media. If it is not there on social media, there is no social media. So where do you think people should draw the line so that it does not become offensive? The savageness, the trolling become offensive or harmful. Precious. Precious.
Sorry, the internet. Well, I didn't get the last statement you made.
Can you repeat it?
Can you come again with a question, Sylvia?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Precious.
Okay, so it's taking me a while to hear you, but what I said is people who are on social media, almost everyone, they're on social media and they want to be savage. They want to break a table. Who is on this table? They break it. So where do you think people should draw the line as we conclude? Should draw the line so that their comments or their trolling or their savageness doesn't become offensive? Did you hear me now?
I still didn't get it. It wasn't clear enough.
Nurat, if you heard my question, you can answer.
Yes, I heard the question. Again, we need to ask ourselves. Let's go back to the golden rule of do as you want others to do to you. Would you like to be mocked on social media? Would you like to be trolled on social media? Would you like people posting your pictures indiscriminately on social media? If you won't like all these things to be done to you, why would you do it to somebody else? And sometimes we take it a bit far when it comes to celebrities. We forget celebrities are human beings too. They have blood flowing in their veins. Yes, they're popular, but they've got feelings. They've got spouses. They've got children. So why do you think it's okay to insult a celebrity? And for me, the worst part is those on Twitter where they pit celebrities against each other so they can say between Precious or Nurat, who is better? Like, why would you do that? You are here comparing billionaires. Like, go do something with your life. Go and do something with your life. You're comparing celebrities. You're putting them against each other. You're standing one. You're canceling one. Who is that going to help? You know? So we need to think deeply. We need to think deeply. We need to check our values. And I think people just need to get busier. I think a lot of us are either unemployed or underemployed. So much so that we have
we see that happening also for fans.
Of time
fans
in our hands
like
that we're not
fans of Nurat, for example, and fans of Precious going back and forth, trolling each other on social media, and you wonder what is going on. There is even the call for celebrities to call out their fans, so to stop the trolling. Is that a solution to all of this? How do you think celebrities should handle fans who troll their perceived rivals? Precious, did you hear that one now?
Yes, people always have a right to their comments and who they support, right? The celebrities that they support. But the right way to tackle that is for the celebrities to come out up front and, make sure that troll stops. Because to me, it's more like a competition. So you can actually be in the favor of someone and not necessarily troll on another person. So it boils down to our value system. You know, I would say this has to do with the family. How are people raised in our communities? The values that you instill in your children are the values that they grow up with. That is how they see people as they grow up. You know, some of these schools that we have today are people who are probably children of broken homes, or people who met with the wrong friends while growing up. So it has a long way to go when it affects our support system, our values, what we think, the background we have growing up. So that is basically it.
Okay. All right, thank you. But Nuraj, what do you say to this? Because when you look at this trolling by fans and the celebrity trying to keep quiet, it seems as if they're benefiting from the attention or the commotion it is causing on social media. What would you say to trolls or fans who troll the rivals on social media?
Yes, I agree with what Precious said. I think the celebrities should speak to their fans. People hold them in high esteem. They're people of great influence. If a celebrity, stands up for a colleague, a celebrity colleague, it helps a lot. So I think they should say something, because sometimes when you're silent, it means like you consent to what they're doing. And I've seen it happen a few times. I've seen some people stand up for others to say, you know what, this is wrong. This is not acceptable. You don't have to compare. So I think they should speak up if it's becoming extremely toxic and obnoxious. Yes, celebrities should stand up for each other and speak against these excessive trolling and vile comment. I think that would work.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nura Sliadi. Nura Sliadi is an educator, and she has spoken so well on the issue of trolling, how to handle social media trolls on social media. Yes, we'd like you to comment and tell us how you think trolls can be handled on social media. You're right on Facebook watching us, on YouTube watching us. It happens right here on this platform. So how do you think it should be heard? We would like to hear your feedback. And please remember to share this video so that people are informed, also benefit from what we have to share. But in conclusion, Precious, what would you say to a troll? What would you say to a troll, and what would you say to somebody who comes across a comment that's inoffensive? Did you hear me, Precious?
Okay, the question was for me. I would say, to a troll, try to know the reason why you do anything you do. There is a reason behind anything you do. Any comment that you're posting on social media shows your belief system, shows the values that you have as a human being, right? It reflects more than you think. It shows the kind of background that you have growing up. It shows the way you take other people, and even the way you treat yourself. Because if you're trolling on others, then that means you don't even love yourself as a human being. If you're talking down on others, if you have something against people, then that means you don't even love yourself as a human being. So I would say, try to meet with people, family, friends, who love you, people who will help you build back your confidence, people who would help you get out of that depression. And then if you must make a comment on social media, let it be a genuine comment, let it be a genuine complaint, not at help us all to interact healthily on social media.
All right, thank you. Thank you
All
so
right,
much,
thank you.
Precious.
Thank you
Precious
so much,
is
Precious. Precious
a
is
full name Precious
a
Chiwendu
full name Precious
Onuaha. She is a
Chiwendu
creative
Onuaha. She is
writer
a
and a
creative
content
writer and
developer.
a
You have spoken
content
so well, and
developer.
we
You've spoken so
appreciate
well, and
you
we
coming on
appreciate
Click
you
Niger today,
coming
on
on
Youth
Click
Assembly in
Niger today,
particular,
Youth
to
Assembly in
do this
particular,
with
to
us.
do this with
Finding a
us.
solution to
Finding a
ending
solution
trolls on social
to ending
media.
trolls on
We
social
appreciate you.
media.
Thank you for your
We
time,
appreciate you. Thank you for your
ladies.
time,
And to you also,
ladies.
Noras,
And
the
to you also,
you an
Laura,
educator.
you
Thank you
an
also for
educator.
taking our time
Thank you
to
also
do
for
this with
taking
Thank
our
us.
you for
time
My
having
to
name
us.
do
is
this.
Sylvia
Thanks for
My
Ishebe.
name
And
is
yes, the
Sylvia
show was put together
Ishebe.
by Ihoma.
Yes, the show
Okay,
was
so
put
we'll be
together
back
by Mama.
tomorrow for
Okay,
Sassy
so
and
we'll be
Real. But
back
Youth Assembly will make a return
tomorrow
on
for
Monday
Sassy and
for
Real. But
another
you can start looking
great
at it on Monday
edition. We'll see
for
you then.
another
But remember
great
to stay safe
edition.
and do
We'll
unto
see you
others, like
then.
Nurad
But
rightly
remember
said, do unto
to
others
stay
what you
safe and
want
do
them
unto
to
others. And
do
Laura
to
like said,
you.
do unto others
Stay
what
on
you
the
want
space,
them
and
to
we
do
promise you
to
to get
you.
your engagement in
Stay
so
on the
many of our
space and
posts
we
and,
promise you to
of
get your
course, our
engagement. So
broadcasts.
many of
We'll
our
see
posts
you
and
tomorrow. Have fun and have a fantastic day.
broadcast. We'll see you tomorrow. Have fun and have a fantastic day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.